4 Ethernet ports, 2 being 2.5 gigabit, an 8-core processor, and all of it in a really small form factor. And it's not even running on ARM. This is the Orange Pi R2S, and today we're going to be going over the specs, what it is, what it could possibly do, and if you should build your next firewall around it. If you're new to this channel, hey, how's it going? I'm your pal Cal, and today we're going over the Orange Pi R2S. I know you might be thinking, well, it says Orange Pi in the name. This is probably just another single board computer. Well, although you could turn single board computers like Raspberry Pi products into routers or firewalls, this is specifically meant to be a router or a firewall. So unlike other SBCs where you might typically find an SD card slot, on the R2S, there is no SD card slot. It only has, well, at least this one has, 8 gigabytes of built-in eMMC. And it's following in the RV and the RV2, and it uses the same KYX1 SoC as the RV2, and there's an octa-core RISC-V processor with clock speeds of 1.6 gigahertz and about, 2 TOPS of AI compute data baked into the actual chip. The R2S has no separate NPU, and I know you might be thinking, why, if I'm about to go over all the specs, did I cover everything up with heatsinks? That's because this thing gets incredibly hot, like insanely hot, and I just had to do something to kind of dissipate the heat. So I 3D printed an enclosure for it while also putting bits of heat sinks everywhere just to kind of level everything out. Believe it or not, it actually made a decent difference. It still gets hot, but with the case, you don't really got to worry about that. But unlike the RV2 or any SBC with Pi in its name, this board is stripped down to be exactly what it's supposed to be. No video output, no GPIO, no camera connector, no SD card slot. It's purpose-built to be a router. As far as I.O., you get 2 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and a USB-C port. As long as you've got a brick that can supply 5-volt 3-amp, you're pretty much good to go. 4 status LEDs, 1 boot button, USB 3 port, and 1 USB 2 port. Total size is 79 by 46 millimeters, and it is in fact smaller than a Raspberry Pi 5. As far as RAM, you've got options of 2, 4, or 8 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM, and it comes with 8 gigabytes of built-in eMMC, as I mentioned earlier. And if you wanted to flash this guy, you can grab a USB thumb drive and just stick it into the USB 3 port, hold the boot button, and your options are between OpenWrt and, of course, Ubuntu. This isn't a desktop computer or an SBC replacement. This is a network appliance, and that's what makes it so interesting. RISC-V is open source, and it's an open instruction set. No ARM licensing, no black box silicon agreements, and for something that sits on the edge of your network and sees every packet that you send, open architecture isn't a gimmick. It's a feature. I printed this little case out of ABS glass fiber, and it's been doing a great job just sitting at the edge of my desk, and it does come with a vertical stand. And I like the way it looks. 4 ports means that we can turn this into a home router or a firewall, which, well, with 4 ports, we have wide area network, 3 LAN devices, or, VLAN without a managed switch, pretty much. Now, you can also turn this into a dirty VLAN box where you can segment your, smart home garbage onto this as opposed to your real network. You can also use it as a VPN gateway or an inline networking monitor, but because of its 2 TOPS of compute power, you can't really put an LLM on here. But for headless computer vision, maybe. I personally have no interest in doing that. And using this for what it is, and that's honestly just to designate my IoT devices, I really like it. Now, as much as I do like the R2S, there are definitely some cons. There is no mainline OpenWrt support. You're running Orange Pi, which is the vendor's 6.6 image, and if they stop supporting that, that's kind of it. So know that going in if you do consider it. There is no Wi-Fi at all, or wireless features, like none. 0. It's like that by design, I understand that, but it's meant to be a router and not a gateway. But there is no wireless capabilities. Another thing to keep in mind is there are no mounting holes at all. So you're relying on models that exist on Thingiverse and MakerWorld unless you want to model your own. And another thing is, everything that you need already exists for the most part, and you will come across situations like 100% where there are no RISC-64 compatible images. So you do want to keep that in mind 100%. That's the trade-off for being early, and as much as I love RISC-V, it's still in its early phases. If you need Wi-Fi, this is not the guy for you. But if you wanted a smart, pretty robust RISC-V router or firewall endpoint, this is not a bad option. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you were interested in snagging an R2S, Orange Pi sells on like Amazon and AliExpress, so I'll put like 2 links down below as well. And yeah, I love your faces. I want to give a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. And I want to thank you for watching this video, and thank you for Orange Pi for sending this in, because I learned a lot with the R2S, and I really like this thing, even though I've given it a pretty minimal job. We'll see you next time.